Hello everyone, I'm Hamish Black from Classic Oak Products and I'd like to welcome you to the first of a series of interviews with our well-respected coopers. Usually at this time of year, our coopers would be spending time in the Australian market, but COVID has certainly temporarily changed the way we do business. Keeping with the tradition of visiting you with the latest from Classic Oak, we have decided to go virtual. So for the first interview, I'm pleased to be joined by Max Gigandet from François Frères. Bonjour, Max. Thanks for joining us, and we're really excited to hear about Burgundy and, importantly, François Frères. So I'm going to start by asking the question that we always get asked. How was vintage in 2020 in Burgundy?
Hi, Hamish. Thank you for the invitation. So, the crop in Burgundy was another early vintage. And today, everybody is reconsidering the normal date of harvest, more like late August, early September. Even if years ago, it used to be late September and early October.
Yep.
But for the vintage 2020, the crop has been quite good on Chardonnay. But Pinot Noir, the yield were even lower than the previous year, which was already a very, very low crop.
Yep.
We had the spring was quite good, but even with that, flowering was a little difficult. So we had some milrandage, and the worst was probably the summer, which was hot and dry, and we got a lot of burned grapes, and also the drought, during all summer, make the vine suffer a lot. So at the end, Chardonnay okay, Pinot Noir very, very, very low crop, Côte de Beaune, Côte de Nuit, even Côte Chalonnaise. But the good thing is that the crop, or the quality of the crops, looks very promising.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear, Max. So just talking about the barrels themselves for the world market, how have you seen it for François Frères?
So far, I would say so good. We've been, we had a good business in the North Hemisphere, so USA, Europe. And as you know, we expect a more challenging year this year in your country regarding the very dramatic fire that you had last year. So I guess that a lot of winemakers may have some leftover barrels.
Yeah.
We will have probably the same problem in New Zealand. The crop on Pinot Noir was a little lower than expected. So all these parameters make that the South Hemisphere could be more challenging for us. Also, we've got countries like South Africa, South America. We never know exactly, it's always difficult to predict. But, it should be okay.
Yeah, we've certainly had the perfect storm in Australia. We've had the drought for a few years, then we had the bushfires and now COVID. So it's been challenging and it will be challenging. And talking of COVID, Max, what effect has it actually had on the cooperage itself, particularly about production and operations?
So, you're not concerned by that, but late March, we have to close the cooperage for 2 weeks just to get time to be organized, to protect all the coopers and collaborators in the office. After, so far we did produce barrels the same way as we are used to. And right now we've got a strong second wave in Europe, especially in France.
Yes.
So, but we are allowed to work, so it's a good thing. The problem, would be more the consequence of the lockdown for some of our clients. All the shops or the restaurants are closed in many countries, so we don't know. It's too early to say, but again, we are not pessimistic. We are still optimistic for the situation, even if we know that we really have to pay attention and be careful.
Yes. And in your local town of Beaune, is that locked down as well, Max, or it's been okay?
So the lockdown just started the last weekend, And, it's only the supermarket and all the factories in general that are open.
Oh, okay.
So for us, there is no problem. And everybody, we train people to be careful inside the workshop and all these things.
Yeah. So from a production point of view for the Australian market, we'll still get our barrels.
Yes, you will get your barrels. And also I appreciate that you're aware of the situation. So most of our customers give you the order early enough. So it's helping us a lot because, it's good to anticipate any problems.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So Max, obviously not coming to Australia, and everyone would like to know, has there been any major changes in the actual cooperage itself over the last sort of 12 to 18 months?
So yes, I think we always improve the quality. So when I say that, it means we always get new equipment, and we've been very happy with all this new machinery. Also, for the last few years, we train more and more young coopers because we have to anticipate the turnover of people getting retired. And also regarding the COVID and the row crop, in different countries, right now we manage the production just to make sure that we've got freshly made barrels. We want to keep quality and consistency.
Fantastic. You've recently introduced some new toasts, some lighter and longer toasts. How have these been received, and are they suited to any particular wine style? Difficult question, I know.
Yeah, no, but I think it's still a learning curve for us. It's something still relatively new, and I think that we've got some producer who've got new expectations, especially with the global warming. Also, sometimes a smooth evolution of the style. So for us, it's difficult to tell you that it's better or not. I think it's just a new option for the winemakers. It helps them to bring a new layer of complexity in the wine. But it may work for many, many different wines.
Yeah. Max, a question that pops up quite regularly. Are there any sort of winemaking trends in Burgundy, specifically in barrel preference? And, what are the goals of these preferences?
Okay, let's say that this one is a difficult question. The French winemakers, especially in Burgundy, are quite conservative. And I think the evolution is not so much on the barrel preference. It's more an evolution of the wine and, all the global warming, different winemaking or viticulturist decision that may affect the style of the wine. I would say today we still supply mostly tight grain, medium toast, 2-year season for Chardonnay, and probably more very tight grain, 3-year season, medium to medium plus for the Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir, it makes sense because the wine is aged for a longer time in barrels. At the same time, people are using also more new wood on Pinot probably than Chardonnay. So it makes sense to use this type of barrel. After, you've got all the other options like everywhere, but the tendency is still that as the main supply.
And Max, we've seen a pattern over the last sort of 5 to 7 years of movement from barrique to hogshead to puncheons. Have you seen that across the globe, or has it only been specifically to the Australian market?
So we saw it also in Burgundy, but it's probably a smaller scale because the cellars are not, it's underground cellars and it's not so convenient. But I agree that I can confirm that we see it also in Burgundy, especially with the Chardonnay. People are using more and more 350 liters and puncheon. Yep, but not so much on Pinot Noir.
Sure. Look, Max, I really appreciate your time today. At this stage, our vintage is very early days. We're all very optimistic in Australia because we've had a couple of tough years, and particularly the last 12 months. But a big thank you for your time, and look forward to seeing you down under in 2021.
So, yeah, thank you very much. And I would be very pleased to visit you again. As also, you know, our clients are very welcome to visit us, and I hope they will be able to do it very soon. So, Amish, thank you very much. Stay healthy, and à très bientôt. Cheers.
Bye. Thanks, Max.